And we begin with Mali. The United Nations Security Council has imposed sanctions on Mali, introducing a travel ban and assets freeze that will apply to individuals and entities engaged in actions or policies that threaten the peace, security or stability of the country. In the resolution adopted unanimously, the 15-member body decided to set up a Sanctions Committee consisting of all the members of the Council and requested the Secretary General to create for an initial period of 13 months, a panel of up to 5 experts to support the committee's work. The 2015 Agreement for Peace and Reconciliation in Mali included inviting the Security Council to adopt measures against those undermining the implementation of the agreement and the pursuit of its objectives. The government of Mali in August sent a letter to Egypt, a council president for that month, requesting the creation of a sanctions regime, citing repeated ceasefire violations by armed groups in northern Mali.
It should be noted that the resolution was prepared under the influence of France, led by François Delotte. The UN ambassador stated that the peace process is at a critical point with advances that clearly indicate there is still a certain level of lack of political will and actions that seriously threaten the progress made. The existence of a penalty plan will completely end the tools which have already built in order to achieve a control over the crisis in Mali. At the same time, 2 people wearing blue helmets were killed and 2 others with their vehicle marked a mine or an explosive apparatus were wounded Tuesday in the northeast.
We're now being joined by our correspondent in Bamako, Mali, Alu Diawara. Thank you very much, Alu, for joining us this morning. This was, of course, an explicit request of the Malian government against individuals or entities that are hindering the 2015 peace agreement. Now that we have the sanctions approved, what has been the response so far in Mali? Ali.
For the former rebel movement, coordinators of Azawad CMA, this sanction of the regime is welcome. We joined Radwane Mohamed Ali, one of the CMA officials, who said the sanctions regime is even CMA's claim. We are now waiting for the measure to be applied very quickly on ground, Mohamed Ali said. On the platform side, the other coalition of armed groups that signed the agreement is the same. We've not been able to reach a coalition official, but in the past, the platform has called for ceasefire violations to go unpunished. The 2 signatories to the agreement regularly clash in the field, and each time one rejects responsibility over the other. That was still the case in July. It was precisely after the deadly clashes in July that the government called for the establishment of these sanctions. According to the Foreign Minister, Abdoulaye Diop, who addressed the press Wednesday, said that the government welcomed the implementation of the sanctions regime. He said this is a way to prevent the peace agreement from continuing to lag behind on ground at the very risk of the agreement, according to the terms of the agreement.
Au risque même que l'accord ne déraille, selon les termes du chef de la diplomatie malienne.
Do you think that a sanctions regime is really a deterrent to those who are still dragging their feet in the implementation of this peace agreement?
Here, opinions are divided on the effectiveness of this sanctions regime. It has just been seen that the actors in the process, that is the government and the 2 armed groups that are signatories to the agreement, see it as a means of bringing about the implementation of an already intense peace agreement. Alongside these optimists, there's a Malian fringe that is pessimistic. These citizens believe that these sanctions fall too late or that they will not suffice to put the necessary pressure on the people who are preventing the implementation of the agreement. The other explanation of these Malian citizens is that the sanctions concern the ban on travel and the freezing of financial assets. According to them, the leaders of the armed groups signing the peace agreement do not travel much outside the country and do not have a lot of money in banks outside Mali. Such sanctions provided for by the regime may not work. But according to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, this is a deterrent and its nature could evolve if necessary, meaning over time other forms of sanctions other than the freezing of assets and the prohibition of travel could be introduced.
Dont la nature pourrait évoluer si cela est nécessaire, c'est-à-dire qu'au fil du temps, qu'on pourrait assister à l'instauration d'autres formes de sanctions autres que le gel des avoirs et l'interdiction de voyage, seules sanctions retenues pour le moment.
Alu, perhaps there could have been another way to get the different parties to respect the peace agreement. Russia had argued that the sanctions weren't the appropriate thing to do. Do you think this is right?
According to several analysts, if there is a more powerful way to get the parties to respect the peace agreement, it is the sincerity of the actors, more precisely the three signatory parties. But this sincerity has often been questioned, especially for armed groups who've taken up arms against each other. Governments say they've never violated the ceasefire, but armed groups regularly did. They have always accused each other of having opened hostilities.
Le gouvernement, lui, affirme n'avoir jamais violé le cessez-le-feu, mais les groupes armés l'ont régulièrement violé. Ils se sont toujours mutuellement accusés d'avoir ouvert les hostilités à chaque fois.